what you want? And are you getting what you need?
Hey, all you bad start. No means nerds out there. Obviously can't talk tonight, so it's going to be a good podcast. This is the no means no thing, no means nothing podcast. I'm Jordan.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm laughing. I'm Michelle.
Yeah, it's a good start. So welcome to another episode of our little podcast where we're going to set up some pins, knock a couple down, and send a couple straight to heaven. So you know the drill. Crack them open if you got them. Let's see what's on our docket. I'll go first because I'm boring tonight. I got a Marniac because I need that hard booze after today's day.
In your fancy glass SSS.
My little fancy glass. Smells so good. I love it. And let's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Michelle. What do you got?
Hey, I'm changing it up a little. I really am. And I'm not doing that lateral move either.
Yeah. IPA.
No. I'm staying in the same genre here.
Milk.
I was at
big glass of milk. Milk.
M-E-L-K. Now,
Yes.
I was at Trader Joe's and they had a little single can of a very good beer. It has a lot of alcohol in it, and usually two will get me taking some clothes off. But
Yeah.
I'm just
video podcast.
Let me just hit record on the.
No, nobody needs to see that.
Nope.
I'm having a can of Irish Death.
Oh my God, I love that.
Oh no, yeah. And this is my friend Carl. He's no means no fan. This is his favorite. And this is like Guinness with more alcohol in it.
Guinness with more alcohol.
No, it's delicious.
All right.
Dark, smooth ale. This is an amazing beer, but
Hell yeah.
I don't think it has a widget in it. So
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just a crack, and we'll pour it in the pint glass. But yeah,
That's
it's
a
got
sweet
7.2% alcohol, which I know. Look at it.
That's going to make tonight interesting. That's going to make the second half of tonight very interesting.
Look at it.
Ooh, it looks delicious.
Beautiful. Yeah. Irish
Looks
Death.
like a Guinness.
Yep.
All right, that's
What the hell
fabulous.
is happening?
I got some great neighborhood noise here. What the fuck is happening?
that
Everybody,
a
we're gonna
harmonica?
no, it's horns outside my window. We're gonna take a quick pause because someone's being an asshole. Speaking of assholes, I'm just gonna
Get out of my lawn. Did he
Well,
pause
you know
it, or
what?
are we still?
No,
Did you pause it?
Going. I didn't. You know, it is. But I'm gonna close my window. All right.
Shit.
It's apparently, it's graduation time, and so you get a bunch of drunk teenagers or
Parading around
parents
town.
and parading around, being all fancy pants. So again, off to a great start. Matthew, what you got for us? Please
Well,
salvage the podcast. Save us, Matthew. Save us.
I discovered there's a bit of a self-limiting factor. I record in the garage, and normally it's cooler than the house and cooler than what's around it. But today it's pretty warm. So I have several beers, and a couple of them, two of them are wheat beers. So
Jordan
those
likes
are good. No, but they got to be cold. So
they do have to be cold.
They are absolutely not cold. So I have to
Mix them
choose
together.
between the two beers that I have that are sort of a little more room temperature-y.
Fruity beers.
Not fruity. You're going to be really excited about both of these,
I'm
actually.
proud of
Probably.
you.
Yeah. So we got from Lighthouse Brewing Night Watch Coffee Lager.
Oh, go on with that.
I don't think that I've been. I don't think I've mentioned this one on the podcast before.
I haven't seen that one before.
So that's from Victoria, and you guys are probably going to both really get excited about this. It won't show up on the camera. Maybe it will. There's a little bit of reflection.
What's going on? Singular?
Shiny black on matte black label. It's Singularity. I can't even read it. I have to get Russian Imperial Stout, beer of infinite density. So it's perfect for us.
Oh, fuck
being
yeah.
that our infinite density and all that.
I think you got to have them both, really. One's got coffee.
I was going to say,
Oh,
can we
geez.
mix
Okay,
them
well,
together? Or?
the Singularity is 11.8
Holy
alcohol.
shit!
I did not know that when I bought it.
Well, you
and it
shouldn't
is
have told me
sealed
that.
with wax, as you can see.
Yeah, that's the beer
Holy
right there, Matthew.
crap.
That's the beer.
Are you
Sorry.
gonna have that one?
He's gonna have that one. Is
Well,
what he's gonna have.
Well, what do you think, Michelle?
I
Jordan's
don't
made
know.
his vote.
And you sounded a little concerned.
Well, I was not expecting 12%.
Well,
That's like two big beers. So.
If,
I-
so
I'm-
you take off
I'm
the
okay.
wax, and then what happens? You got a cork there or some shit?
You know what?
going on
I'm
under the
curious. I'm curious. Yeah, it's got to be a cork if there's wax.
what's
right?
No,
Right.
it's a cap, I think.
Oh.
So which
They
one
have
am I which one am I doing? It's going to be
I
a
don't
more
know,
interesting
man.
podcast.
Whatever you
if
got the
it's
nuts to
Singularity.
drink, I'm staying out of this. I got my own
Singularity.
problems.
Singularity.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's do it. But I'm going to be careful and drink it slowly because if
Drink it slowly. You don't have to drink the whole thing. Drink the whole thing.
Actually, I have to get a knife out to get it off.
Oh, easy now. Come on.
It's very fancy.
Oh yeah, it's really fancy. I don't even know what I paid. It
Well,
was a
my
big
bottle of
noise we're gonna
Armagnac,
hear is
my bottle of Armagnac was also sealed in wax, so I am also fancy. But I opened it.
Mine's
right.
sealed with a kiss. It's a kiss of Irish death.
All right, well here we go.
Here we go, guys.
The wax is off and the evil has been released. Okay, so here we go.
Well,
Pouring
we
the singularity into my black hole.
Jesus Christ. This
Yes,
is,
from which nothing shall ever escape, including
My
our
sobriety.
listeners' goodwill. I love that. I love it.
Should we
So-
tell people what we're here for?
Oh yeah, we do a podcast. It's about No Means No. It's this band we like.
I think it's about beer or booze.
Oh God.
Sorry,
All right,
I'm
listen.
reeling a little
listen.
bit from this news here, but that's okay. Let's try.
Listen, we've
Oh,
got
there
some
he
songs
goes.
today. This is one
Oh,
of those
that's chewy.
episodes. Oh, chewy! I love it.
Is it gross?
No, it's really good. Too good. You'd love
Easy,
it.
Chief. Easy,
Nice.
easy.
So I don't know about you guys, but this is one of those episodes where
drinking
I'm
molasses.
feeling
Carbonated
feeling
molasses.
I'm feeling happy about it because I don't have any of my babies in this one, so I'm not killing anybody or promoting anybody that I feel too bad about. I'm not, these are all fine songs,
Yes.
but this is one of those little palate cleanser episodes for me, which I kind of enjoy once in a while, where we just
yeah,
kind
it's
of
a
go
little more
right.
clear cut for sure.
a little more, yeah, little less
Not
epic-y,
like
maybe.
last,
I don't know. We'll see.
last episode where
Woof,
I had to rip
doggy.
my heart out.
Yep.
And then I stomped
hey.
on it. I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
That's
it's
all right, Matthew. Matthew, hates your
I
choices.
still adore
apparently.
you.
It's all right. It's because you're a good friend. All right,
Yep.
let's talk about our first.
I feel like I could
Set
get drunk
of-
smelling this thing.
Ooh,
Maybe
God,
you
I can
better.
get. I'm getting drunk just watching you drink it. So
Matthew.
our first matchup here is two songs. Very well. Anyway, I guess we'll talk about how similar or different they are. But our first one's "I've Got a Gun" off of World Hit of the World, as such, 1995, versus "I'm an Asshole" off of Dance of the Headless Bourgeoisie, 1998. So interesting tracks to pit up against each other. I think a very appropriate pair to go up against each other. I really like this pairing. We're going to, though, hear first from our compatriot, Michelle. You're up at bat, so let us know what you think of "I've Got a Gun," but let's let the listeners hear a bit of this percussive piece.
I'm gonna shoot someone. I got a gun. I'm gonna find maybe someone. I got a gun. I'm gonna cut somebody down. I got a gun. I'm gonna find maybe someone. I got a gun. I'm gonna shoot somebody. I got a gun. Cops are kicking in the swinging door. I look around, I know my fucking life is done. It's time to have some fun. I got a gun. I'm gonna find it in someone. I got a gun. I'm gonna cut somebody down. I got a gun. I'm gonna find it in someone. I got a gun. I'm gonna shoot somebody. Yo.
Michelle, you've got the gun.
This is a punk chugger. I love the song and all it stands for. By the way, I fucking hate guns, and I like how the song seems to mock those that get some boner over owning one. I think that's what's happening with the words, anyways. It's the perfect punk rock song, and I love the I Got a Gun lines that I think John and maybe Tom sing while Rob's laying it down. It's a great mosh pit doozy. Killer.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, short and sweet. I love it.
Yes.
Just
All
like
right,
the song
Matthew.
itself, 2 minutes and
Exactly.
25 seconds, really short. This might rival Lost for my favorite song on this album because it's so to the point. It is just a it's hardcore, but it's like it's no means no hardcore. It's not like sort of Ramonesy, Hansonsy hardcore. I find this song utterly chilling. It is terrifying, and I don't think it's become any less terrifying in the 26 years since it's been released,
Right.
maybe even more so. Wow. Yeah. It's got 3 stanzas. The first is sort of the subject or the protagonist, I suppose, is talking in terms of grandiosity and fantasy. The second stanza, it's his actual reality and his dissociation from it, which is, scary. And then the last one, him going out in the world and doing what he needs to do. So I also like the song because
close
it's
to home, man. I hate it. I hate because it happens all the time. It's reality, like big time around here. Anyways,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I mean,
Matthew, go
this
on. It's
dates-
just like
It dates itself a little bit. I mean, just because that Raiders baseball cap, I have no idea whether Raiders, it used to be a huge thing in the early 90s. And it was gang wear. And that football team has actually moved twice since this song was released. Because it was LA Raiders,
LA
and then there's
Raiders,
Oakland
right.
the year before this album came out, I believe. And then now they're in
It was
Las
Oakland
Vegas.
for a long time, yeah. But I mean, I think that's pretty much what it's referring to. That was where it was most infamous, I think.
When they changed, the black and silver and the pirate
Yeah.
and all
Right.
that kinds of stuff. Anyway, that was for anybody who might not know. People were it was super popular, and people were killing each other for the football wear and the baseball hats and stuff like
oh,
that. at the time.
pathetic, man.
Yeah. This is maybe one of the only No Means No songs I have a chance of playing myself because it is fairly straightforward, and the drum fills are always the same, which is pretty awesome.
Right.
I love the sound of it, just the hardcore, or maybe even speedcore, kind of contrasting with the more staccato instrumentation in the verses, which reminds me of like Gunfire, I guess. Maybe that's on purpose. And again, the fills are pretty much exactly the same. It reminds me a little bit of Echo of Love Fang, where I've got a gun, he says over and over again as well. It's a different sort of obsession.
Right.
Like, this person is obsessed with their own relevance, I guess, and feelings of power. And I love the sound of the guitar. The first, right from the start, it sounds so desperate. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Oh, it's so incredible. The last verse is pretty interesting, where he's finally going to be confronted by death by cop, as is said, and there's no guitar in it. It's just the bass and drums, and it sounds a little more alone, a little more stark, and the scariest thing to me is like that callback. I mean, it's like a call and response. I've got a gun. He's got a gun.
He's got a gun. Yeah, that's great.
You'd
That's
think of
great.
that in any song, but it's also what people would scream,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
which is just so scary.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
that engineering choice at the end, where you getting closer and louder, and you're the target. No, this song just terrifies me, and I love it.
Great. All right. Well, I'm gonna add a little drama, I guess, to this because this is my least favorite song on that album for sure.
Whoa,
and
what?
definitely not in the top of my No Means No pantheon at all. Kind of towards the bottom.
No kidding.
Listen, it's a good song. As with all No Means No, it's a fucking great song, right? Other than Beat on the Brat, which I don't need to relitigate that. Like, they don't make any bad songs. This is never my favorite by any stretch. And I got some really bad hot takes. I'm not gonna go too far into it because I agree with everything you guys have said, right? Like, that's all 100% true. What I don't love about this song, I feel like one of the things I love about No Means No, and about Rob's writing in particular, is that there's always something that feels really authentic about it, and that it's something that, even if he's not writing from experience, or he's writing about something abstract, it's something that's really relatable, even if it's darkest moments. This feels like something really distant from their experience, really distant. Like it's totally within their rights. They do a great job of commenting on what they're talking about. And I think it's really salient and maybe a little prophetic how they talk about the sort of feedback loop of people wanting to fucking go out and become a shooter to get famous, right? Which is something that's, a hot topic these days, about whether we should be reporting on these assholes.
Not
these days,
day.
you're right. But I just meant, more now than in the 90s, frankly. It's more relevant in that sense.
And these days, people have figured out that you shouldn't name them, maybe,
Well, there's that debate, right? Should we or should we not? And, there's that big debate. So I think that in a lot of ways, that's really fucking salient and right on. But it doesn't sit in the same place as other songs for me on that front. It feels distant. It feels like it's something that's not, there's nothing personal about it. There's nothing and that's shitty of me to say, because it's probably personal in the sense of like, yeah, we fucking hate guns, hate gun violence. This is a great song about it. So 100% don't disagree with anything you said, but it's always felt removed for me. And
well, that's because maybe Rob's talking like in a character that you just would never.
Yeah,
associate
but
with
even his other characters that I feel like you can associate that I don't associate with him. There feels like there's something, I don't know that I can really explicate it. There feels like there's something more sort of universal. This feels to me, and I hate to say this, but it feels, I hate to say it. I feel like I'm probably an idiot for saying it. It feels a little stereotype. It feels a little less nuanced about who he's talking about than I expect from their lyrics. It feels a little more straightforward. It feels a little bit more by the numbers in terms of who he's talking about, and a little less.
I think I know what you mean. I think
a little less depthful when talking about this kind of protagonist that I might expect.
Not so hidden.
And not so hidden, and not so like, I don't know. It sort of skates on the surface of who they're talking about, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not necessarily what I expect from No Means No, and so it never drew me in on that front. I sort of skated across it. I think the music's fun as hell. The staccato, like you said, Matthew, is something I put in my notes too. It sounds like gunshots. That the kind of staccato way everything's playing together on that, and that ending, the you, yeah, that's fucking great, right in your face. Would have made a great video with Rob just coming right into the fisheye lens or something, But but yeah, definitely at the bottom of my list for this album, and not anywhere near the top for No Means No for me. I didn't identify with it early on, and didn't identify with it now. Yeah,
may I rebut?
You may, please.
It's a like perspective. No, it's interesting that you feel sort of distance, but I'm wondering, I'll probably catch shit for this. There's a little bit of a cultural difference because Canadians, we don't have access to guns. We don't have the same issues with gun violence.
Jesus Christ,
I kind of wonder that, as we sit on this side of the border and we watch and we think of our American friends like you guys and just like, Jesus Christ, that's going on in your country. And like, I can't even imagine. It's not happening in my country, not to the same extent anyway. It's more, certainly not at the time that this song came out. Not to the same degree. With some major and scary exceptions. Only recently has it become that it's become more frequent for sure. But perhaps as an observer and as, somebody seeing this character that people are trying to become, that maybe it is that exact distance. Maybe it is like speaking from a place where this doesn't happen as much. I don't know. That's certainly how I feel about it. So, maybe that's
interesting. You mean
it could be
because they're Canadian, that they're looking at it down a long lens instead of like right up front where it's simplified. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. There are
Yeah.
times when, I mean, you guys
yeah.
must look at the news and go, Jesus, I live in a fucking, like, I can't believe this is
Yeah.
going on in my country. But
It's
we
not
sit
shocking
here
anymore. It's
maybe
not
a little
even
bit,
shocking anymore.
maybe a little bit, supercilious and holier than thou, but we sit there like, Jesus, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
No, and
We
I
are.
hear you. I hear you. I think what it is about, and again, I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just for me, In No Means No, hearing a song from them that's through that long lens,
Right.
it just doesn't grab me. That's not what ever with No Means No what grabs me. There's something about it that even if they're talking or singing a song about something that's truly despicable, there's something in me that feels right inside of it, that feels like they've gone right fucking inside and put me in there and even made me a little bit empathetic with the horror. I don't feel this at all in the song. I feel really distanced. I feel like there's a pane of glass between me and whatever else is going on. And again, it's a great song, but for No Means No, it's just that's not what I love about them. And so
you're a No Means
by
No
any
snoot, aren't you?
but probably, and I'm sure people
We
out there
all are.
rolling their fucking eyes as they should.
I am a self-declared snoot myself, so that's why I said it.
So yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, and I mean, I felt that way about this song since '95 when I first put it on. I was like, yeah, this is a good thrash song, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And yet, this is when I will put on repeat.
So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I
That's
love
really
this
interesting.
song. I love it
Yeah,
because I
that's
think he nails it. Like
fascinating.
you get a gun in your hip or your pocket, and suddenly you think you're big shit, but you're fucking not. You're a
No, I mean
pussy.
for sure. I'm
And I
not
said it.
disagreeing
I
with
said it.
anything. I mean, what I'm talking about really is a fucking snooty ass fucking take, right? No, I'm not making any excuses for that. I just have to try to be I figure I got to be as honest as I can about my reaction to these songs.
You're
And
drinking a Marniac, and we're drinking
exactly,
beer.
I'm the Kirk of the podcast. So what do you
Oh,
fucking
right,
what you
right.
gonna do? That was not a good Shatner. I could do a better one. Just let
I'm
me
the
finish this
spork.
and get there. You're the
I want to
spork.
be Spock because I think he's cute. And I'm the doctor, and I'm so stupid I don't even know what that means. I don't even know.
So I guess that's all of our takes,
Yeah.
which is more than I thought we'd say about that. So
Well,
let's
no,
talk
that's
about
why
this.
that's why we do this podcast. I'm like, insights
Exactly.
even before
Sometimes we all agree, and sometimes we don't. I actually like it when we don't. I think
No,
it
and
makes it more
sometimes you
interesting.
come up with stuff in a perspective that had never occurred to
Yeah.
me before.
Exactly. Well, and you too. I think with the Canada thing, that's a fucking great point.
I agree too. I think he's
Yeah.
right.
All right. So, I mean, I know I'm an asshole, so let's talk about this other song. I'm an asshole, but first, let's take a peek inside that fetid hole.
There is something that I wouldn't do to fuck you up royally. I'm gonna finger in all your pies and you'll never get away from me. Look at my face, look in my eyes, and forget your psychology. The world will divine your present disguise, but you can't pull the wool over me. There is a problem, you see. You know that problem is me. Forget your psychology. What is the problem with me? I'm an asshole. 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 I'm an
All right, Michelle, you get to talk. You get to give us a tour through this stink tunnel first.
Of the asshole.
Yeah.
I think this
Black hole
song
beer.
goes with black hole asshole. Okay, this song goes well with against I've Got a Gun, doesn't it? One and the same, right?
Yes.
Along with the verses, John is doing some great drum acrobats, really intriguing stuff to listen to. I like how menacing in the beginning the song sounds, and I think it breaks really well into the verses. I like song structure and how it flows into things. That's really important to me, and I think this song really nails it. And then I got a lyrics question. Does Rob say 1, 2, fuck you?
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, is he? Okay, all right. No, I like
Fucking
that.
love that part.
Okay, yeah. And I'm sure this song is a hoot to play. The ending is fantastic with Rob bellowing, "I'm an asshole." I love the ending when he says that. It's hilarious.
Excellent. All right,
That's
Matthew.
it.
This, yeah, I see what you mean about sort of being similar, except that in this case, I think that the asshole is actually talking that the other person is, yes, I am the asshole, I'm the problem, but actually, you deserve it. you deserve my attention.
My assholiness.
Yeah. Musically, I kind of think that it's almost like a jig, a shanty, a folk song, a little bit.
Totally.
And it's interesting how I did a little bit of googling about my forks in the mulligan stew. I've
me
heard
too.
what
God
mulligan
damn it.
stew actually is, but yeah, it's a
It's a
stew
gimme, isn't it?
made.
Mulligan?
Yeah, that's one thing. And now that Rob mostly plays golf and hangs with his kids, so
Yeah.
it's a do-over. But it's also a stew that's made communally, like a whole bunch of hobos who had,
Like
one
stone
guy had
soup or something like that.
no, one guy had an onion and one guy had some, I don't know, rabbit or whatever. And so I think by, they're talking about my forks in the mulligan stew, he's actually talking about somebody else's wife. So
What?
if it's
What?
communally occurred at stew, then, maybe
100%.
it's a
The hell?
100%.
suggestion that,
Talking about?
maybe everybody gets a little bit of mulligan stew.
Yeah, 100%.
What?
Yeah.
Because he's using a fork instead of a spoon?
I think just
I don't get the fuck thing. What's with the?
Because it's mulligan stew, it's a shared stew. And so if you're putting
Yeah.
your fork, it comes in that verse where he's talking about fucking his wife, right? Where he's cheating, making
shared
his
a
wife
drink
cheat
or
on him.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's just messing with this person on every possible level.
Man. Wow.
Musically, the solo is like a rolling bass line. I like the sort of almost squonky guitar. There's a definite kind of train, which again sort of reinforcing the kind of hobo
Promenade to
idea
go
of the this hobo showing up and he's got a finger in your pie and his fork in your
God.
mulligan stew and creeping in the window and he's 1-2 fuck you, right? But yeah, you can't pull the wool over me is the line. You deserve this asshole's tender attentions. And then musically, I don't know. It's just so great. There's a tiny little tom yelp before basically a one note solo. And I think this song actually speeds up a little bit there. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
It sounds like
like
does.
it, right?
Yeah. And then
Are you saying John fucked up? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
it sounds
No,
intentional. They
entirely
all pushed each other
intentional.
together.
All right. I was gonna say, hey now, hey.
Never.
No, of course not.
All right.
And then everything stops and the whole band is yelling, "I'm an asshole." I remember I have a couple of memories. Often I was, not quite home at some of those shows after a few too many drinks or something else. But I remember, being in various venues, and I cannot remember specifically, but I remember looking around and the entire band is yelling, "I'm an asshole." The entire crowd is yelling, "I'm an asshole." I look over and even the bouncers are yelling, "I'm an asshole."
That's great.
Yeah. It's
What a
pretty
way to
good.
come together, isn't it?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Jeez.
So anyway, he's an asshole, but you deserve
I'm an
his
asshole. You're an
assholiness.
asshole. She's an asshole. We're an asshole. Wouldn't you like to be an asshole?
An asshole too. Well, I would. I think this song. First of all, I think it's a great pairing with "I Got a Gun." Right. They're not. I mean, they're not similar really, but I like this song giving away my vote, but way more than "I've Got a Gun." But they're in the same Venn diagram circle for me. And when I look at "No Means No," if I were to categorize all the songs, this one would probably go in the same family. And I just fucking love this song. I think it's got, it's a great history of No Means No songs where you've got a narrator fucking wanting to take someone down a peg, whether it's Dance of the Headless, whether it's Mr. In Between, whether it's this song or one we're going to talk about a little bit later. I think Rob does a really fucking good job in this. Every time they have these songs, every single one of them, I always read them in two ways. The way that has been talked about, Matthew, I think you did a great job of talking about that, where it really is someone taken someone down a peg. And I think you're absolutely right. This is a sort of like the holy asshole. And I don't mean holy as in whole, but like holy as in, HOLY, who you need that force out there to take these fuckers down, right? These people who everyone thinks they're nice, everyone thinks they're great, but it made me think like, who I'd like to blast this at would be Jordan Peterson. Like he needs to have this fucking song just blasted at his ass 24/7. Those kind of fucking people.
I would enjoy very much being an asshole to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, well,
I
and
don't
it
even
seems
know
like
who that is.
he's an asshole.
Count
He's
your
an
blessings.
asshole. He's an asshole, and he's Canadian.
How do you
so there
two
you
know?
go.
Oh. Okay.
So on that level, on that reading, I absolutely agree with what you were talking about, Matthew. I think it's dead on, and you too, Michelle. I also, though, sometimes think in these songs, there's a little less in this song than in some of the others, but some of the verses work this way, that it's that sort of that inner, like, you've heard of what imposter syndrome is, right? Like you always kind of feel like some people, you kind of feel like you're a fucking phony sometimes. That other part that's always living on your shoulder, just going like, I fucking see through your shit. I'm that asshole inside that sees through your shit, and I'm going to fucking call you on every fucking stage of the way. And there's just a little bit of that in here. Whether I do think this one's a little more externalized, especially since he talks about fucking his wife, and that's that's hard to sandwich into that reading a little bit more. But it could still be there a little bit. But I love the music in this song, and yeah, it sounds like a little fucking ditty. Mulligan Stew also has Irish origins, and so it feels a little. There's that little bit of that, the Irish lilt in it. You can do a little fucking dance in there. And I've always loved a jig. I've always loved how at the end the chorus goes, I'm an asshole, with the emphasis on whole, right? Because you never say it that way. It's always asshole. So I love that they reverse it and they give the emphasis on the whole.
Yeah,
it just makes it even more fucking interesting than it already was. And the tail off, coming off of Going Nowhere, which we've already talked about, makes this song better, because it's way better than Going Nowhere, in my opinion. And going into Disappear, it's a great segue into Disappear. I do think these three songs work really well together. And listening to it this time made me appreciate more than I ever had before. I think this album maybe more than other No Means No, not all of them, but it has such a different A-side than a B-side. The songs on the front half of this album are so fucking different than the songs on the back half. And this run of songs in particular are all of a piece, frankly. I think this is one of it's not the best of them. I really like Disappear a lot, but I think it works really well in that triad. I think these songs are all sort of part of a triad in a way, and it works really well with that. Anyway, I love this song. I think it's fucking great. I jam along in my head to it every fucking time I hear it. I love the music. It's fucking top shelf. Love it. And that's really all I got to say about it, I think. So
did we ever actually say that it's from what album it's from?
We did. I said it at the beginning.
Sorry.
Dance of the Headless. Yep.
It's
part of my rigmarole. All right, but never always good to call me on it,
because
I forget some of that sometimes. All
that.
right, well, I guess we're ready to vote, which I don't know where you guys are going on this. I know where I'm going. So, Michelle, you get to be up first. Cast our first vote.
Pew, 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 pew. I've got a gun.
Oh, nice. All right.
I've got a gun.
Yep, me too.
Matthew. Yes. Fucking A. All right, well, I'm going to give the dissenting vote to I'm an asshole, because I guess I'm an asshole. So good. It's not unanimous.
Think you are. Right.
Excellent. I'll be that asshole.
Thank you, Matthew.
Give me my dish of Mulligan Stew. So I get a gun. I've got a gun. Goes through to round 2, whenever that may be in 3 years.
Shot
Excellent.
asshole
Good for
in the asshole.
Yep.
Right.
And I guess we're gonna fully say goodbye to I'm an asshole, because I doubt that's one that would come back with any sort of mulligan round. But so see you later, asshole.
I don't know. Like,
you.
if we put it out to the listeners, like it might just.
I have a feeling more people are going to be on your side than my side on this one, but we'll see. I'll be interested to hear what people have to say about this one. All right. Well, it's our interim break, and as usual, before we move on to the next set of songs, we're going to put in some. We're going to let a listener weigh in. Matthew, you want to talk to us a little bit about what we'd like to get more of from listeners?
Yes, indeed. As I, drink my my carbonated molasses.
Your face
Yikes.
is getting a little red.
Yeah, and a little sweaty too.
Uh-oh.
So,
drink.
we have been blown away by the response of people sending in content. Basically, we want you to answer 3 questions. It would be great if you could split them up so that we don't have to deal with very, very super large files. The first question would be how you came to know No Means No. The second one would be what they mean to you. And then the third one, if you have a really good No Means No related story, please send those to No Means Nothing podcast at gmail.com. You could do all sorts of technical things. You could attach the files if you know how to do that. You could send us a Dropbox link. If you don't want to record your voice, you could type it out and let us know, please, if you'd like us to read it. And I suppose if you have a preference, who you would like to read it.
Ooh.
Anyway, thank you for your submissions. And here is one of them.
I got introduced to No Means No when I was 16, maybe 17. I'm 46 now. And I got introduced by a friend. We played in a band together. He was the drummer and I tried to play bass. So one night we got stoned and he played Rags and Bones from Life and Cuddly to me and I couldn't believe it. It completely blew my brains out. I couldn't believe the energy. I couldn't believe the raw power, the fun, the wildness. I never heard a bass guitar play like that and completely dominate the song with the drums, of course. That was just bass energy unleashed. And after Rags and Bones, he played Victory, also from Life and Cuddly, and that was it for me. That completely got me hooked. Victory has that anthem energy, and it resonated so strongly within me at the time, and it still does to this very day. It gave me back some faith I didn't know I've lost. I remember hearing the line, "Are any of my friends here? I can't see," for the first time, and my friend said, "Obviously not." Yeah, so this is how I got baptized by my friend with the beautiful music of No Means No, and even though we're not friends anymore, I will be grateful till I die because he showed me the light.
All right, let's do round 2.
And thank you so much for your submission.
Thank you, listener.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
More. All right, now we got that one,
Yeah, keep that
Matthew.
coming.
and
Jeez.
that burp killed the punk for sure. But you know what else did? The Hawk, and the Hawk killed the punk is off All Roads Lead to Ausfart, 2006, and that song's going up against Revenge off Sex Mad, 1986, the Slade side of Sex Mad, frankly.
And
Or
also
Clear.
the B-side from the Dad 7-inch.
Hell
came
yeah, I
out
did not know that.
Slightly before Sex Med was released, I believe. It was Dad
shit.
and Revenge.
Wow, nice.
You guys are so
Nice.
cool. Oh, man, thanks for
Well,
doing
God
that.
bless Wikipedia.
Well, whatever.
All right,
you take
so-
the time, you say it. I think it's cool.
So we're gonna start with Hawk killed the punk. So let's dip into a little clip of that.
There is no you and there is no me. Greater than the odds of uniformity. Tell me what's the price that you would pay to be free? To be free? To be free? To be free.
Ringing in his ears, an anthem of fear, the pain and of death, and the nothing that's left, nothing of himself remains. The flash kills the punk, the razor shakes his skin, the water blows his brain. His thoughts are dead, and his fear and his pain, nothing of himself remains. The heart kills the punk, 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 the heart kills the punk.
All right, so I'm up first. So this is on Ausfart, the late period. I got an embarrassing admission that for a little while, just a minute, on this song, I was so over analyzing the lyrics that every time I heard Hawk, I just went immediately to what I think of when I think of Hawk, which is a
Hawk?
war criminal, like a
Hawk?
warmonger, right? A warmonger. So I
Hawk
was
and
trying to
Dove
fit
sort
the
of thing.
lyric. Yeah, Hawk and Dove. And it was, kind of right around when the Iraq war kind of just wound down. And I was, my mind was there. And so I kept trying to force it. It's like, is this a punk at a recruiting center? What the fuck? And then, of course, one day I went like, Jesus fucking Christ, you fucking moron. It's Mohawk. And the song is very clear. It's all, it's a song about how the symbols of nonconformity became the badge of conformity, right? You've got all of these symbols of punk, of the mohawk, the piercing, the nihilistic music, all of this, which you go after to be nonconformist, and it really just turns you into a conformist robot, just like everyone else. The mohawk killed the punk. It's the antithesis of what punk was meant to be. The signs and symbols of it became commodified and became its opposite. And it's a great fucking song about that. I think the lyrics are great on that front. And I think my favorite, the thing I love most about the song, other than the crazy fucking 3 different time signatures going on, which Michelle, I'm really looking forward to you talking about, is Tom. This is Tom's. Is this the only song that he sings in its entirety?
Yep.
Yeah, and he kills
and
it.
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he kills it. If you're a No Means No fan and you're not listening to Showbiz Giants somehow, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you have to listen to Showbiz Giants. And to get to hear Tom go off like this in the song is fucking glorious. I love it. And he really, really, really kills the delivery and right along with the music, which I think is fucking great. And yeah, I think it's a smart song on that subject, right? I will say, the music kills. Like a lot of songs on this album, I have to admit, the thing that was lost a little bit for me from earlier No Means No is it's very clear to me, or I feel it anyway, so it's ridiculous to say it's clear to me, but in my impression of it, is that the lyrics were written completely separately. I feel like this may have been true all the way back from the beginning, but there was a more holistic feeling to some of the earlier works, even up through, frankly, this one. This is the Ausfahrt just felt like the one where it really disconnected from me, where I really felt that I still love all those songs or most of them, but the music didn't feel as integrated in with the lyrics. And it's the same with this. They're great. They work really well together, but it doesn't feel like a holistic piece. It feels more like most other music feels to me, which is the lyrics come on top of a really great song. They work together, but it doesn't feel as fractal or just holistic as a lot of the early stuff did. So that might be my only real, not complaint, but sort of thing that doesn't click for me as much. But I do think this is one of their late masterpieces. I think I love how experimental they get with it. I love how fucking hardcore it is. It's one of my favorites on this album. I think it's incredible. I think Tom's delivery, I think what he's talking about, and the fucking tightness of the music is just insane. This is definitely one of their late masterpieces. I fucking love it. All right, Matthew, you're up. So I can see you want to say something. So
it's interesting that you should say that it sounds a little bit disconnected, because I know for a fact, because my buddy Colin recorded a good chunk of this album, that parts of it were recorded in 2 separate studios. I can't remember which bits, but yes,
How about that?
some of it were geographically separated, and I don't know whether that's the case with any of their other albums.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the only Tom vocal song. I love the fact that there's a that Hanson's thing.
There's
That I
Johnny
think
Boy.
John does it. I think Tom definitely does it sometimes. But yeah, all these things you do to be punk make you less punk.
Yeah,
is what the song is about. I do think that there is some wistfulness to it, because Victoria is a pretty small place, and while there was some degree of tribalism, I have said before, it's a small population. Everybody was at the same shows a lot of the time, and even though you might have gotten in fights, people were friends across those lines. And I know that there was a huge heroin problem in Victoria and Vancouver, which I've mentioned before on the podcast, and people have lost friends, and so I'm sure there are some personal images in this song. Particularly the needle killed the punk, because the needle did kill a lot of punks in,
Right. That
in
is
this
one of the lyrics.
part
Yeah.
of the world. Yeah, so
That's interesting because I always thought of that as the tattoo needle because I hadn't been thinking of heroin, but you're totally right. You're totally right.
Yeah, no, it's probably both.
Like both,
Yeah,
yeah,
because he
but
does talk
fucking
about
A.
the ink in his skin and everything like that. But
Right.
yeah, all these labels, free of to be free. It's a question. Like to be
Yeah.
free of society. What is it that you're being free from? Because you're just locked into a stereotype. Yeah, cradle in the arms of uniformity. So I love the one note solo. Tom was really good at that, just like soloing for a whole bunch of bars, and it's just really one or two notes. It's super great. This song was a
but
lot
it's
of
how
fun.
You play it.
A lot of fun live. What else I can say? The tongue is numb, but the stud is in. It refers to a tongue piercing, but also refers to the punk stud, I'm sure. It's standard, label of punkness. Like, where do you obtain punk studs on Amazon? Right? Anyway. The numb tongue, nothing to say. Your message is gone with your image. Fairly straightforward, I suppose, that you become what you are railing against. But yeah, my favorite part of the song is actually maybe the ending. It ends on just feedback. It sounds like the sound of a dropped instrument. It's basically an anticlimax to the song after sort of very, very energetic songs, just like it's an anticlimax, just like the punk revolution, and just got commodified.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Nice.
The Hawk.
All right, Michelle. What do you think?
Before I get going into my notes here, you guys, you lyrics boys, they don't say the hawk kills the punk. What are they saying? It begins with an S. The sack killed the punk.
I think it's
The hawk.
No.
There's
It's
the needle, the stud, the hawk, and I think
there's the stud.
trash. I think it's the trash.
Or thrash, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, they're not saying hawk. They can't.
They say it
because
hawk,
sounds like-
then it's stud, and then it's either trash or thrash.
Oh, okay. So
I was
that's
thinking it
what
was
I wanna
thrash
ask.
because I thought that was a word that fit more in
Okay.
trash. I can't make heads or tails of what that would mean,
Yeah,
but
because I
thrash.
didn't think they were saying
is
hawk
a-
all the way through.
No, they're
way.
not. Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, actually, I'm just thinking another sort of slight dialectal variation between Canada and the States is like we generally say garbage, where Americans say trash. Trash in Canada, it can refer to garbage, but more often, or just as often, it can refer to like a social class. Which
Oh, so the trash killed the punk. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, maybe.
That
I
could
don't
make
know.
sense. Again, one of us,
Trash,
you or me,
don't
Matthew,
pick
we
it
got to
up.
pull out our fucking lyric sheets
Yep.
from wherever they are and actually look.
Not me.
I brought my No Means No CDs into the garage. They are over there.
Oh well, they're closer. We're
Yep.
close. We're almost there.
Woohoo.
All right,
All right.
Michelle.
I totally adore this one and the complexities
Woohoo.
of the time signatures intertwined, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's fucking genius. This is oh god, Tom. I love this song. I just want to run up on the stage and kiss him. This is just a masterpiece, and I can't stress enough my joy in hearing him belt this out. I think he sounds freaking awesome. This might be my most favorite from this album, I think. I don't like, unlike Matthew, I don't have the album here to look, but I love this song, and I love how Tom shines in it. It's a total punk rock laydown with a hefty dose of wicked clever composition, totally aces, and fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you want me to talk to you about
Yes,
these
please.
intertwining time
Please
signatures?
explicate for us.
All right, I will. I will tell you what I think is going on. I might be wrong, but I think this is what's happening. It opens up with 4 measures of a 4/4 intro. That's just straight 4/4, and there's 4 measures of it. So here's what's going on. John is playing in 5 with his emphasis on the 5th beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tom is playing in 4, which is understandable because he's laying it down with his
Right.
voice. So let's just give him the 4/4 part and let him go stand over there and kill it. And, yeah. And Rob is playing a lick that I count to 6 in, and he emphasizes the beat on the first beat. So he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you take these 3 time
This is a
signatures,
waltz.
I didn't take out right. It's like a duple meter of a 3. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken music theory, but 5, 6, and 4. At some point, John has to add a little extra 3 beats at the end, but at some point it can all meld into one. So they all come together. But John, in his genius, which he can, he's playing in 5, but then he had to add a little extra 3 beats on the end to make them all come together. And I didn't take out the time to figure out how many beats or how many measures of that, but I think it's about 5 or 6 that they go through this whole thing of them playing in 3 different time usage signatures. John adds a little 3 at the end to bring them all to the same spot where they go into the chorus.
So 4,
Fucking
5,
genius.
6, 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah, and I
Crazy,
think it's
yeah.
like
30. That would be every 30th beat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Jesus,
think
yeah.
that's no, but it's so cool because if you just sit there and pick them out separately, you're just like, what? They're just weaving this badass piece of shit here, and it's just so cool.
How fucking
And it
great to have a
sounds amazing.
takedown of punk, well known for its sort of 3-chord
Right.
progression with a complicated as fuck song, right?
Well,
like
it
something
just shows
completely
what kind of
evolved.
musicians they are because
Yeah,
they
they're
know the
showing off.
genre. No, they're not though.
I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean
No,
it's
okay,
fucking
no, but I mean,
fucking good.
That's what they are. Subtle, the finesse, the subtlety
Absolutely.
of these motherfuckers. You don't even know what's going on, and you don't
No.
realize why you like it, but it's because of this kind of little piddly shit that they do. Who
So
came up
fucking
with
good.
this?
Yeah, so fucking
And John
good.
hits the emphasis on the 5th beat. Rob's hitting the 1st, and Tom's playing in 4, and then it comes together with John adding a little extra on the end. It's glorious.
That's
And
what I
was
love
gonna-
about it.
I don't know if you guys want to do this, and please tell me no because I haven't even practiced it. But I figured if there were 3 of us here, maybe you want to count to 4, and
Oh fuck! I don't know, man. I don't know if I've had enough
it's all
beer.
right. No, it's all right. We don't have to. But next time you're with 2 of your other friends, have one count in 5, and another in 6, and another in 4.
And see where you
This,
end
my
up.
friends,
And
is the
see-
no means no drinking game that you all need to be trying out there.
Take a drink on every 30th beat.
Exactly. But Michelle, what you're talking about is exactly one of the things I love about this is how they're it all works together, but there are those times that you feel in the song where it all fucking comes back and then starts again, right? Where it just fucking
yeah.
meets and then
But in the middle, there's this undulating wave of
Yes.
badassness where you're like, hey, I'm gonna ride on this wave. Fuck yeah. And
Exactly.
then you just stop and then it starts all over
And-
again. It's
and
like
you-
it's like getting an upset stomach and you're like, oh.
and
I
you
don't
just
know
have
what I just meant by that, but it's just you know what I'm saying.
No, I get you. And
I
you
do
have
too because I'm
confidence
drinking
that-
this beer.
Yeah, he's got it. I just have there are some bands that get fucking weird like this, and I always feel like, oh shit, is this gonna fall apart? And that's kind of the fun of it. But with them, I know when they do something like this, I know it's gonna fucking be
Subtle.
tight the
It's
whole
fucking
time. And
subtle,
just like,
and it's subtle. They're not like we're
Yeah.
so fucking great. Why don't you
no,
look at
it's
us?
not-
Look at us,
it's
jerk
not
off.
proggy
No
King
way.
Crimson stuff.
Subtle.
It's fucking good
Yes,
and percussive and tight and
it's
good as hell.
beautiful.
All right,
So
we ready to
there's
move
that.
on to song 2? All right, the next baby
Sure.
on the altar is Revenge. Sex
Revenge
Mad,
of the Nerds.
1986. Let's hear a little bit of this masterpiece.
What I want most in the whole wide world is a girl. Just a girl. One who will keep me from losing my mind. One who will keep me from losing my mind. And she'll be the best girl in the whole wide world. She'll be the best girl in the whole wide world. Revenge, revenge.
Revenge. That was Revenge. I'm up bat first. Okay, so like many of the songs that we've covered on the show, I appreciated this song way more upon this more subtle listening. It was never one of my favorites off that album. I didn't write it off. It just never grabbed me as much, maybe. I don't know. I don't think Sex Man's my favorite album anyway. I think there's some great songs on it. It never was, but I'm gaining way more appreciation for the songs now than I used to. I don't know why that is. It's a great fucking album, and I think this is a great fucking song, and I appreciate it way more than I have before on this listen. So I'm grateful for that, if nothing else. In terms of what it's about, I kind of mentioned earlier on, and again, this is probably totally fucking off base, but this is how I like to listen to this song now when I listen to it. So artist subjective, this is my wheelhouse when I sit and listen to it. I talked a little bit about in I'm an Asshole about that other voice inside that might be another aspect of yourself that's calling bullshit on yourself, right? Not external. This song feels even more strongly that way to me. This really feels like an internal voice calling revenge on itself, not an external person. And I think the song for me is way more interesting in that sense. And when I hear it in that way, this is like an imposter syndrome anthem, a fucking arena rock version of that idea. And that to me makes it even more menacing and threatening when there's this part that's doing the haranguing, but it's even holding back the justification for the hatred, which makes sense in a way because the person it hates already fucking knows because it's the same person. It's not some other person. It's not some random bit of jealousy or revenge that they're sneaking up and they're going to kill him someday. It's them. You know, I mean, I definitely suffer from imposter syndrome. I suffer from it on this fucking podcast, you know? So there's always this part that looks at one's public face and sort of threatens to expose you. And that maybe that exposing to the world of what it claims to be the real you is a death. You die, but I'm alive, right? Like that fucking bullshit part is going to die. And I'm all that's going to be left. The part that you're afraid to show, the part that's hiding, the part that you fucking stuffed down. And I think that fits for me even more when you get to the end of the song and the production changes. Rob's production on his vocals change. And you've got the band. I love that part. First of all, just to talk about the music for a second. And the band played that good old rock and roll.
Oh, that's great.
And then he's sort of like puking into the mic. That's fucking so good. And then you've got this on the one hand, sort of almost sarcastic, but almost really fucking earnest. What I want most in the whole wide world is a girl. One that will keep me from losing my mind. That is beautiful and heartbreaking. And that strikes me as like both sides done, like the person that's going to die and the person that's going to kill him inside, the two sides of that imposter syndrome. This is just a plaintive wail of somebody fucking save me. So I got to find, please, can I find someone who will save me and keep me from losing my fucking mind?
But it's a girl. It's not someone though.
It's not someone. It's a girl. It's a girl that's love, right? It's like, I want that love to save me from losing my fucking mind.
Right.
And I think Andy pointed this out to us in a reading that we won't read for a couple of weeks, but this is one of their few 2 guitar songs, right? There's no bass in this.
Yeah.
This is all guitars, baby. And I love that. I love that about it. You can hear them play off each other. The music is fucking great. I love how there's such a difference between the verse and the chorus in this, in the way that they sound and the way that Revenge is just so, it's like arena rock versus fucking hardcore, right? It's just these two forces. And that's the other thing that makes me really feel like this is 2 parts of one person, or is that these 2 pieces of music, they go really well together, but they're really fucking different. So again, back to what I love about this band the most, the music is really holistic with what's being said here. It's really fucking in line with the meaning of the piece, and it helps inform the piece to me. It helped me to come to what I think is my interpretation of this song is the nature of the music. So I'm fucking grateful to this podcast for nothing else, if making me sit down and listen to these songs and really contend with them instead of just skate on the surface of what they mean because they didn't grab me right away. No, I think this song's fucking great. I love it.
Band is like a trip to the psychiatrist, man.
It is. It is. It can be, right? If you really go there. And again, like I've learned plenty of times
you
now.
Go there.
Hearing from Andy about what these songs are really about. Like I could be totally wrong, but frankly, I don't care. Like I could be
totally wrong, but I'm a dancing fool.
Exactly. That's this song. That's what this song means to me now.
Anybody?
And I think it's a good one. I don't recognize that. What's the reference?
Frank Zappa.
Oh.
All right.
I'm sad to admit. I know there's a lot of Frank Zappa fans out there, and I think he's fucking great. But I'm woefully ignorant.
No, all right. No, come on. I'm destroying the vibe here. Fuck me. Just keep going. No.
I don't. That was actually. It was good timing because I was actually at the end of my bit. Anyway.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You got nothing to apologize for, Matthew. You're in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a mundane existence, too bad your shit is still there.
Yep.
That's kind of what this song. I had to think about it, but yeah, it's maybe one of my top 3. I'd say on Sex Med. I really like this one.
Well, top 3 on Sex Med or top 3 of all time?
On Sex Med.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the two guitars. I asked myself the question: is there bass? There is not bass, but yeah, I love the guitar. The atmospheres of the dreamy, soaring sound contrasted with the more halting verses is really cool. I could almost imagine Andy singing this one. I wonder how much he had to do with the lyric writing. I sometimes try not to read what he tells us before he tells us things because, I love the vocals. I love the harmonies. I love the sardonic tone and those grunts after good old rock and roll because it's so boring and mundane. But I think kind of like you were saying, Jordan, it is a lot like I'm an asshole, except it's more internal. It's just I see through your disguise. And I'm an asshole. It's somebody else. In this, it's yourself. So yeah, you've spread your wings to and learn to fly. And who is I? Who is you? It's all the same. Yeah. Open. There's one question. Open wide. Open your eyes. Open wide. So open wide. What do you?
Oh, don't.
What do you? What? No. Just what are you being?
It's not a.
What are you being fed?
Oh, okay. I thought you were being fed something else.
No. It could be all kinds of things. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Oh yeah, you do.
Do I? Okay.
You do right now. Yeah,
right.
Sure. All right. I can't answer this question. He was asking Jordan, I can tell.
There's so many interesting I love the vocals and the harmonies, like you say, but then like also the wanna know why you die. I love that contrast, like the ranting versus the sort of soaring, making fun of you. You've said a couple of times like arena rock, but yeah, I wrote the word anthem. It's sort of like an anti-anthem that, what I want most in the whole wide world is a girl, just a girl. One will keep me from losing my mind. One will keep me. It's every rock song ever. And they're just like, I definitely I had this album before I started having serious girlfriends and stuff like that, and it actually spoke to me on that really, really basic level.
Oh shit!
Where
it's time to settle down,
she'll be
Matthew.
the best girl in the whole wide world.
I hope
that's a lot of pressure on the girl, and I didn't find her. I had a really great relationship around that time in the late 90s or so, early 90s, I should say. But I think it's an impossible bar, and this song actually might have messed up my expectations a little bit because,
holy
I got into my first serious relationship probably after I was into No Means No. Definitely after I was into No Means No. But yeah, sort of like, how come she's not fixing me? I'm still fucked up.
Well,
I
that
found
is
this amazing girl. How come she's not fixing me? It's
you
her fault.
you are in the song.
It's
That's
not
exactly
our
right.
job
Right?
to fix your shit.
No,
That's
exactly.
the point. You have
Buckos.
this broken person, and the once they even get outside of that dichotomy, the thing they see is the
got our
way
own
out
problems.
is another fucking person. Like that's still broken, right? Like it's
Right.
Yeah.
their solution is a broken solution. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Jesus.
So yeah, no, it's always like you're trying to make yourself, and just like I'm still here. I'm alive. Just all the mundane, fucked up shit about you.
Yeah, can't bury it.
Still in
Still
here.
there.
Just
Still
gotta
in
find
here.
somebody who can deal
And I'm
with
gonna
it.
I'm gonna
that-
get my fucking revenge.
And
buddy.
that
Believe me.
girl, you know what? It's not her fucking responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we
she's the
always
best
wanted
girl in
to-
the whole wide
No.
world.
Yeah.
But you
See,
don't understand.
I met her though, and it's still not her responsibility.
No,
Right,
it's
but
not.
we always feel like we can change our guys. You do know that, right? Oh, I can change him.
So it's
He's
interesting.
gonna
That's the other
like
side of it,
having-
right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
it's a known fact. Like women, geez, I'm just gonna
Fix him. I can
know,
fix
it's
him.
yeah. Maybe we can put an extra couple of pillows on the couch.
What did we
It's a
What did we say
decor
about No
issue.
Means No being a trip to the psychologist? I think
Yeah,
we've proven
Totally.
our point, right?
No,
Yep.
Proven our point.
this song for me, it's obviously it's an early song, so it's been with me a long way, and it has
point.
come with me a long way through my own understanding of my own internal bullshit.
Wow.
So there you go.
Look at this. Laying on the couch in the office, paying the
Yeah, but
bill
now
at the
we-
end of
now
the
we got-
session.
No,
Drinking
we're out of
carbonated
time now.
molasses.
We're out of time now, Matthew.
We're out of time. We're an hour in. We got to make a vote, and this one's hard, guys.
I didn't
don't
even
wanna
go
make the
yet.
first-
No,
Oh,
I
you
was
haven't?
doing the
Oh,
psychiatrist
shoot, thank
talk.
God.
No, I was doing the psychiatrist.
Save me from
we're
having
out
to
of
vote.
time for the week.
No, here.
No, Michelle.
No,
go.
you know I'm
Michelle.
always quick, so here I'm gonna go.
No.
I'm
Take your
go-
time.
No,
Slow it down.
no, can I ask you something? Wasn't this Jason Lamb's? Didn't he say this is one of his favorites? He
I was
'cause
thinking
he
of that
liked
too.
When I
Yeah, he liked that
What I
quote.
like most in the is so maybe he should have been with us on this episode because maybe he's got some female
maybe if-
troubles that he's got to talk about too.
I don't know. We'll see.
Right? All right, so let me go quick. I always do. The guitar intro here is really juicy, and then it's followed by the echoey drum sound. I love the way those drums sound. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like there's a fucking layer of like low smoke around the floor in the kit. It just sounds so. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the
I do.
drums sound so fucking. I don't know what it is. Is it a 80s, 90s thing? It's just I love it. The verses. I love the verses in this, but the slow revenge chorus part was always a little bit meh to me. But then it would always lead into the fast verses. I think I said that right. Anyways, and I talk about what I want most in the whole world is a girl part. It's just epic songwriting, and there is something really special about that. Rob sounds massive, and this is a haunting gem. Okay, now we can vote.
Well, that was good, man. I like that, and that
Mm-hmm.
didn't make it any easier for me. This I gotta vote first. I'm not happy about that. I'd rather fucking tailor it to what you guys gotta
This
say.
is kind of tough because there's
This
some
one's
good
hard for
stuff
me,
in
so
both of
I'm
them.
I'm gonna try not to ramble
Yep.
on too much about this. But what this comes down to for me is the long tail of these songs for me. Right, Revenge. Like I said, I appreciate it way more today than I have in the past. I think it's a great fucking song, and I really really appreciate it. But I almost feel sentimental for Hawk Killed the Punk because I feel like it's one of their it's like a masterpiece of their later period, and I want to give some props to their later fucking period and not always fall on the side of the early stuff. So I don't fucking know, guys. God damn it, this is kind of a coin flipper for
Do
me.
you need Matthew's washer with the red?
We got it right here.
The red.
No, I'm going.
Dude, flip it for him.
I've got to listen, and I
you
would
want us to
not have,
vote
no,
first
no,
and then you
I
can-
don't,
then you
I don't,
vote?
I don't. I've got my vote.
All right.
Yesterday, I would have, or a couple days ago, I would have voted for Hawk, but I'm voting for Revenge now because of how I've connected with this song. I've connected with it in a different way, and it hits that part for me. I talked about this in talking about both the songs, where it feels holistic, it feels fractal, it feels like everything belongs together. I don't feel that about Hawk. I love it, and it's a fucking masterpiece. But this one, all of it works together. And that to me weighs it slightly more on that Egyptian fucking scale where Anubis is weighing your fucking heart. So it's
What?
Revenge. That's for me.
All right.
All right,
Nope.
Matthew.
Yeah, super duper. I like Hawk. It's incredibly clever. I love the fact that it's the only Tom song, and it is heartfelt. I think for them, especially for Tom, because he maybe has some deep thoughts about these sorts of things. Revenge to me though, I got to vote for Revenge because it's stayed with me for 30 years. And it still offers me different insights into myself. So yeah, Revenge.
Wow.
Wow, fuck.
Okay.
Michelle, what about you?
Nope. Look, I already decided what my vote was going to be. But when I think of one song, I feel this way in my body about it. But then when I think of this other, like, you know how you get that visceral feeling in your body when you hear
Oh,
the song?
yeah.
My vote is going to be for The Hawk Killed the Punk. However, the reason I voted that is because I wanted to cheer. I was like, Tom's killing it. They're doing 3 different time signatures. They're no means know it and up the ass, and I love it. But Revenge just has this billowing smoke that is coming around you, and it's gonna. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
do. I
gonna
love that
cover your
description.
head. It's gonna
so
sink
fucking
your
good.
ass down in the catacombs. Like
I love that.
no,
That's
but
fucking great.
I want to vote for both, really.
Can't
But
do
I'm
it.
gonna vote for the Hawk because that is a celebratory song for me all the way.
Hey, I don't disagree. That's fucking great. And I'm super
But I
glad
love that
that it got a
Revenge went
vote.
through. Now, come on. I love that Revenge went through.
Another
I do.
split decision on both. That's fucking great.
That's all right.
I love it.
I'm proud
I have
of
to
you.
admit, I thought that this would be me alone with Revenge somehow because I've talked before how I sort of wrestle with an earlier me versus like
Right.
sort of me today.
Yes.
But as I say, certain aspects of me have changed, and my knee jerk reaction might have been different. And without listening, I would vote with the old me. But this one,
Right.
because as I say, stayed with me and changed with me. So there you go.
That's so interesting.
all the
And
more reason to vote for it.
Yeah.
and for me, this is a vote against my younger self of No Means No because I never gave this song its due back in the past. I just did. So that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, for me, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I connected
Yeah.
with it on a more basic level.
Right.
Yeah.
You really did want the
Oh.
perfect girl. All right. Well, listen, we've sent through I've Got a Gun, and we've sent through Revenge, and we've sent I'm an Asshole down to the stinky hell where it can sit around with punks who are dead with mohawks or some bullshit. All right.
Their poop.
Listen, folks,
Stinky
lucky
breath.
for you, Andy's corrections. Thank you to the user who we cannot remember their name, but we're going to find it and gave us that new name for this segment. Although, Michelle, you had an additional name that you wanted to put in the mix.
Oh, come on. Andy's Candies. Come on.
I
Who
love it,
hasn't
Andy's
had-
Candies.
Who hasn't had the Andy's
Andy's
Candy
Candies.
at the after
And
dinner?
and
the
frankly, that's
after
a-
dinner mint. It's like the after dinner mint, chocolate and mint. Andy's
It's-
Candies.
It's a little better because these aren't actually corrections. He's never usually correcting us. He's given us little sweet bits.
Oh.
So
Sorry,
that's its official name. That's
that was
its
a
official name.
That was my
Oh.
my correctation.
That's
My
their
God.
correctations. So we do have a Andy's corrections. We have some
Remind us
Andy's
to
candies.
Give Matthew this beer next week.
Exactly. All right. So this was about
Andy's candies.
episode 10. And in episode 10, we talked about I Need You, Mansion in the Sky, Dance of the Headless, and Brother Rat. So here's what Andy wanted to tell us. I Need You. We had 2 possible running orders for 0+2 when we were finished recording, and one included I Need You and Lost. Would we have chosen that order? I think I Need You would have been the centerpiece of the record. I really like Rob's lyrics, but the funny thing is that I always imagine the word you being used in a somewhat different way than meaning an actual person. I saw and still see the I, or self, as needing the other. In other words, the I requires a you in order to function. That you could take many forms. I think this is all getting a bit being and nothingness, isn't it? Ha 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 ha. On a much more down-to-earth note,
Ha-ha-ha.
the volume jump in the middle of the song when the big guitar chords come in was directly inspired by a couple of songs on Neil Young's Freedom LP, specifically Don't Cry and El Dorado, around 4 minutes 40 seconds. Go do your homework, fans.
Jesus.
As for the now, wow, 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 wow vocal guitar thing, I think Rob came up with this vocal echo effect first, and then I used that to create my guitar part using the Roland DA30 analog chorus echo unit. This got used in very few No Means No
I'm
songs.
making a pushing up glasses motion.
Yes, Self-Pity most famously.
Oh, self-pity. Jesus Christ on a bike.
Colder, far less so. What the fuck is Colder, you guys? Little sidebar. What the fuck is that? What's he talking about?
Colder?
Colder. What the
Sorry,
fuck is
say it
that
again?
song? He said Self-Pity most famously, Colder, far less so. What the fuck is Colder?
Colder. No, I think he means it in the word. Colder.
No,
like,
no, it's capitalized like a song title. Anyway,
Is it in high?
Andy, we need a
what do you call it?
correction to we need a correction to your correction. I think it's
Is it
an unreleased song.
Italics?
Are we
Yeah,
getting
he's saying
warmer?
self-pity most famously, colder, far less so, as if he's talking about less so and
Hey,
colder,
a
but
secret. Hey,
there's a secret track, folks. You heard it here
Yo.
first. Anyway, to continue. But was used extensively during No Means No early 4-track era, as well as on the first Neos and first Infamous Scientists EPs. All over everything. Also live, I had to adjust the echo speed to approximate the correct tempo first before we started playing so John
Ooh,
could hear
yep.
it.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt on live recordings, you'll hear me fucking around with it and giving John a sample to hear. From then on, it was just praying it wouldn't go too far out tempo-wise. And on Brother Rat, what Slade says, at some point, Rob said he had an idea for a song called Brother Rat, which, being the musical thief I immediately stole. I went home and wrote the song. Rob and John liked what I'd come up with, so that was that. Brother Rat was born. I'm trying to think about how Rat and Slade got paired up. If I'm recalling this correctly, Slade was written totally separately, and the two just seemed to work together tempo-wise. But for me, anyways, the two songs are about distinctly different subjects. Rat being about male-male relationships in the straight world and all the camaraderie, mistrust, and loyalty betrayal that entails,
Mistrust.
while Slade being about,
Mistrust.
well, about all those things you guys talked about. Oh, yeah.
Heh.
In answer to one of your questions, yes, we did often go off script, but only at scripted times. Ha 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 ha. All right, and that's it. So what he's talking about at the end there was I asked him directly and kind of breaking the fourth wall if on live performances back in the Andy era, they would do a lot of improv. Like on Live and Cuddly, you've got that big section towards the end of Brother Rat, right? Where they go totally nuts. It's not on the
Yep.
studio album. And I, maybe once in the later period, post Andy, which is the only shows I ever got to see, did I ever see them do that? I think it was just tight, practiced, rehearsed, tight shit. And they didn't play like that. So I just wanted to, I really was interested to know, was there more playing around like that in the early shows, which it sounds like there was. And that's another reason why, if
'Cause
I
they
ever
could.
get a fucking time machine, I'm going back to see those fucking shows.
Can I go in this time machine with
I'm
you?
inviting both you, man. We'll go. But yeah, I always wondered that, and now he's answered. So what a fucking joy to know the answer to those questions.
Man.
That was great, man. Fucking Andy, thank you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what?
Is there any, does it now? I think one of the things we want, I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about on this one, but do you guys have any feedback on what he said? I think we can have a little interplay here. I'd love what he was saying about I Need You. I mean, I always felt that to a degree too, but his talking about how the I and the you is more kind of universal than personal, I think was really, really interesting. Jesus Christ, what a joy to hear about the fucking Inside Baseball these songs. Holy fuck.
Oh my god, I know. Come on. It's like, how cool is this?
Somebody
Please.
commented on I Need You about the fact that it might have been about addiction. And I'd never really given that much thought, but yeah, it's kind of an interesting thought too.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Well,
I don't know
didn't
that I
he
agree, but
Andy
that's
say
interesting.
that it was you. Oh no, it wasn't somebody else. It was you need yourself to get. You needed the I to get to.
He
the
needs
you.
the I to get to the you, right? Which I think the end of that song and what it says makes me, I myself wouldn't glom onto the addiction narrative, I think, in the song, only because I think the ending there is kind of more of what Andy was saying. But again, I think one of the beauties of No Means No's art is, especially when it's really fucking good, is that its subjectivity allows for a number of really meaningful interpretations. And yes, there probably is an originating interpretation, but the art is rich enough to allow for very authentic and just as
Right.
meaningful takes, unlike some other bullshit, which I'm sorry, I don't mean to shit on Jello because I love Jello in many ways, but his songs mean one thing. That's it. They are what they say. No Means No, you could authentically have multiple meaningful takes on a song, and that's art to me. So,
and it's been a real blessing, and have to really, really thank Andy Kerr for offering his incredibly generous and gracious. I mean, that is the definition of a gracious artist, is that
Yes.
they offer you kind of, it's just their take, but he doesn't say this is the take by any means. It like, I have been a little bit sort of reticent to again, like Jordan, you've been a little bit nervous to sort of take the subjectivity away, but it doesn't really affect me too much to find out what what was being thought. Like what I thought is still intact, and that is very, very gracious and very, very generous of Mr. Kerr. Thank you very much. To know what it was about and what we were thinking, what they were thinking, it just adds to what I was already thinking. It doesn't replace it. It doesn't supplant it. It's just very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
He's giving us the ingredients. He's not telling us what we're going to taste.
Yeah. Good,
You know what
good
I'm
way
saying?
to put it.
Totally.
Yeah, you're both absolutely right. No, it's a fucking
Put
joy.
This was in it. This, a little bit of this was in here. Now eat it.
I cannot fucking believe
Stuff
we're
it
getting this sort of
in
information.
your face.
Into your little dark hole.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody.
Blow off his head.
You've
Okay.
made it through yet another episode.
Wow.
We're an hour 15 in on one that I thought would run short. We found a way to make it run long. Oh, it's going to be even longer than that because we got to stick in that user content in the middle and all that. It's going to be a long one. So we'll let you go. We won't torture you any longer. But we're grateful you're sticking around with us. Stick around more. We got a lot more songs to fucking cover. And I just want to remind everybody that if every fourth animal in the world is a beetle, then maybe every fourth person is a dumb fuck.
You sick and tired of the same